Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Kenny, and I'm here with Pokemon Sun and Moon Anime episode 38, but for me to be 39. Guys, this episode was really good. It was more comedic, and it was a focus on Team Rocket, so it was a Team Rocket centric episode. So let's go ahead and get into the review. All right, guys, we start off. We see Saitoshi Ash. He's running towards the school because he wants to show everybody that he and Lycanroc has been performing, been practicing the Z move. They get to school. He starts telling everybody to start to show up. Then we get an unexpected unexpected visit by Team Rocket. They was kidnapping Pikachu. So they kidnap Pikachu, but then they look at the Lycanroc and Jesse was like, "Was that the evolved form of, Iwanko, which is Rockruff?" And so James pulled out his book and says, Rockruff. I mean, not Rockruff. Um, Lycanroc only has two evolutions. Dawn, not Dawn, midday and dusk form. No, midday and midnight. Now, which is on the dust form, which is what Ash has. But a lot of people have been speculating there might be a dawn form too, which we there have no confirmation of that just yet. But so they said, okay, we're gonna take this Pokemon with us. So they go to try to take him, but then Ash uses the Z move Continental Crush, which he does not succeed with. So Kiawe steps in and uses the Fire Emblem the Z move, and he blasted them off. So they get blasted off. So they get split up. So James, Meowth, and Wobbuffet ends up in the woods, while Jesse ends up with Mimikyu in the shopping district. So they go into the shopping mall. They fall into the bushes. So she gets up and looking for Mimikyu and James, Meowth, and Wobbuffet. But when she does, she turns around and see Mimikyu, but Mimikyu's cloth, his disguise is really broken. So she starts to see parts of Mimikyu coming through the disguise, and she gets scared. So she turns around and try to call him back to the ball, but he does not come. He can't go back in because the disguise is messed up. So she turns around and says, "Okay, we're gonna go get a Matasada." So she goes over to get it. However, there's a Murkrow waiting for her, and the Murkrow goes in and they start, attacking her, and they take the Matasada. So she sees the bag and says, "Okay, this is a good idea. We can use this for Mimikyu." Mimikyu changes out of his disguise and into the bag. So Jesse's like really trying to think of ways to cheer Mimikyu up, but then she sees an opportunity to take him shopping. So she runs. So they go shopping. Now the shopping is really for her. So she goes shopping and has Mimikyu to try on all these different types hats, buckets, seashells. I'm just like, and had on an octopus costume too. I said, this poor Mimikyu. I said, he is going through so much. But then we see James. We see James and me out there in the woods. Wobbuffet comes up behind, and they start trying to find out where Jesse is. So these two begin to think, and they were like, "Oh no, she has our money." So they basically take off running. I mean, they were full on running, no sprinting, no jogging. They were running, and Wobbuffet couldn't keep up, so he had to try to keep up. And then so Jesse basically went shopping, spent the money. So Mimikyu is still looking kind of depressed, and he looking at his cloth, and Jesse was about to take it, so he took it and hid it. And she said, "Okay, hold on." So she goes to try to get another Matasada, and so she went to get the Matasada. She comes back. She tells him to hand over his garment. So he hands over the cloth, and she goes to sew it up. and she shows him that it's good as new. But by the time she gets ready to take out she takes out the Matasada. Here come the three Murkrow. They come and take the Matasada plus his garment. So it's just like, oh wow. So Jesse goes to chase after them. Goes to chase what's on the Murkrow to get the scarf back and the Matasada. So she goes and do that. So James, Meowth, and Wobbuffet are outside. Now back over at the school, the kids are cheering Ash on to use. Ash is trying to learn it, so learn the Z move. So Kiawe said he would help. So Lycanroc starts to battle, and once he starts battling, um, Ash tries to get ready to use it again, but it fails. So Lycanroc gets kind of frustrated because he wants to learn the move, and Professor Kiawe, no, Professor Kukui comes over and tell him that it's gonna take a minute, but you two will get it, but it will take time. And once you do get it, when the time is right, the move will be performed. So Lycanroc takes it, and he takes it and listens and like, okay, so Ash says we're gonna learn it. So back over at the shop, Jesse gets the Matasada back plus the scarf, and she falls on top of the big Pikachu that was in the shopping center. Meowth and James running in right behind with Wobbuffet behind. They go in and they see that Jessie is basically sitting. She's there all up under the rubble and everything. So she comes from up under the rubble, and she lets Mimikyu know she's got his cloth and got the Matasada. So those two celebrate. They eat the Matasada. So when they look up, the three Murkrow are there. So she basically tells them that they ate the Matasada. She got everything back, so there is nothing they can do. These three turn around, fly off, and come back with a gang. They had I want to say a flock of Murkrow. I mean, it was like 12 to 14 of them, if not more. So she gets scared. Mimikyu it begins to split wide open, and you can see the glow of Mimikyu just filling the whole entire place. So Jesse was like, "Oh my goodness!" And by the time she said something, the bag covers her eyes. Jane covered his eyes with his arm, but the bag covers half of it. Meowth is the only one that looks directly at Mimikyu and dies yet again. So Meowth is dead. He's looking. So he's running down this corridor, and he runs straight to the light. So when he runs out, he runs into this field of flowers. I know, right? So just so Mimikyu gets back into his disguise, and Jesse commands him to use Wood Hammer. Now, guys, I know this is you guys probably already knew this, but for me, I always thought the tail was a part of Mimikyu's disguise, but that is Mimikyu's real tail. I mean, you guys probably already knew it, but me didn't know it. So he beats off a couple of other of the Murkrow, and all the Murkrow turn and run. So Jesse sees James and Wobbuffet and Meowth, but Meowth is dead. So now we turn back to Meowth. Meowth is up under the garment, and he's like, I mean, not up under the garment. Yeah, my phone gets ringing, and I'm getting very irritated. But Meowth is dreaming, and he's like, going through the dream. Giovanni is basically rubbing him, and he's rubbing him. So he's like, okay. Jesse tells him to wake up. He wakes up, and he was like, am I dead again? Am I alive? And they're like, yes, you are alive. So Jesse's like, okay, I'm going back to the school to face the twerk. So they go back to the school to face Ash. So she lets him know that she's more stronger than before, and basically, she's supposed to have the help of James, Meowth, and Wobbuffet, but they are way back to where they're standing far back from her, and like if anything happens, they're cheering for her off from afar. So she gets upset, but then she sends Mimikyu out. So Mimikyu's supposed to be facing Lycanroc. Lycanroc turns and he goes like, okay, he goes straight in, but then when he go in, he goes in for Pikachu. So Mimikyu is base, and so Lycanroc is looking like, okay, aren't you supposed to be facing me? So Jesse goes to get Mimikyu and tell him he was supposed to face the Lycanroc, not Pikachu. So at this point, the kids tell Ash to go ahead and perform it. So he perform as he does the moves to perform it. Jesse's like, oh, it's not gonna hit us, so we're not gonna worry about it because you did it before, it didn't work, so we're not gonna worry about it. But this time he performs it, and the Continental Crush sends them flying yet again. But then we get Beware. He comes up and he gets them, and he runs. So at the end, Ash and Lycanroc, they're actually happy that they performed it. But back at the den, you get Beware. He's just throwing Jesse, James, Meowth, Wobbuffet, and Mimikyu around. And so they all just decide to go eat the berries, and Mimikyu eats majority of them. So that's all that was, guys. It was a nice little episode. Next week is gonna be. We hopefully are saying that Mallow gets a capture. We don't know just yet, but we will see. But y'all tell me how y'all felt about the episode. This is your boy Kenny. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys later.